At the same time, his work on the atom brings him increased attention. As a result, in 1911, he's offered a position as a full-time scientist at the University of Zurich. The 32-year-old patent clerk finally leaves Bern to become, for the first time, Professor Albert Einstein.
People start realizing that those miracle year papers of 1905 are probably right. And he starts getting invited to the Solvay conferences, which are the gatherings of the greatest physicists in Europe.
Convened by the Belgian philanthropist Ernest Solvay, these conferences bring together the greatest scientific minds in Europe, and Albert Einstein is among them. In fact, he's the youngest professor there.
He made an impression. He was friendly, he was funny, and he was smart, really smart, and people saw that.
That was also a moment when Mileva must have perceived that she was still part of this small Bern world, whereas Einstein had become part of a bigger world.
She writes these plaintive letters saying, "Tell me about it. I wish I were there. I would love to meet these great scientists. It was always my dream to meet these great scientists."
She became jealous of not only the other physicists, but of physics itself.
Einstein's lectures become the talk of scientific Europe, and he's invited to speak in Berlin, capital of the country in which he was born.
Berlin at the time was the most vibrant city in Central Europe.
Einstein hadn't been in Germany since he left at age 15 to avoid the draft. He renounced his German citizenship the next year.
While Einstein was in Berlin mainly to visit colleagues, he was also invited by a cousin.
A first cousin named Elsa Einstein. They had known each other as kids, but Einstein had lost track of her.
Living on her own, had divorced, she had 2 daughters.
She's just the opposite of Mileva. She's not a scientist, she's not an intellectual, but she loves making big old dinners and taking care of Einstein.
They liked each other's company, taking long walks, looking at the boats, and he must have been fascinated by her. Einstein returns to Zurich. They exchange fiery love letters.
And at one point, it becomes so strong that Einstein says, "Please don't write me anymore. This isn't going to work."
He must have felt that this was an overcomplex situation, even for an Albert Einstein.
If the mysteries of the heart elude Einstein, the mysteries of the universe trouble him even more.
The curvature of space and warping of space-time, and you scratch your head.
He has now been struggling for 4 years to more fully develop his general theory of relativity.
His theory of relativity is so complicated that very few people can understand it.
Somebody's got to test it.
It's not a testable hypothesis. It's not science.